Try again. Welcome, councillors. Welcome, residents and people online.
There's nobody online at the moment, I'm afraid, no.
Okay. Well, the chairman, our Mike Johnston, is actually missing because he's on holiday. So we accept his apologies, and I guess we should do the same for Tim, should we not? Yeah, I'm hoping it comes along a bit later, maybe. I'm actually the vice chairman, so I'm actually authorised to do this, and I'm sitting in the chair today. So forgive me if as I've not done this before, this is all a bit strange to me. Well, a bit of housekeeping. We don't expect any fire drills tonight, but if the alarm does sound, we've got 2 exits, one outside and one inside, and meet in the folk hall car park.
Yeah, staying in on that one.
Yeah.
Life jackets under your seats.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Oxygen masks.
Yeah.
So members of the public will be invited to talk at appropriate time. Anyone online, which we don't have, but if there is, they'll have to wait to the correct time anyway. Apologies for absence then.
There you go. Right. We've got
Carol, welcome.
Councillor Johnson and Councillor Snaden, although Councillor Snaden may well join us later.
Absolutely.
So do you just want to accept and
If we
authorise those?
we accept
Councillors,
it,
just in case?
we would need to authorise the people who are missing today. So that's Mike Johnston and Tim Snowden. Everybody else is here, aren't we? Yeah.
Yep.
You all here?
So you just have a proposer to
You propose that?
Yeah. Somebody second it.
you seconding it? Rob?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We take a vote. Show of hands then, folks, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody. Right, declarations of councillors' interest. If anybody got any declarations or dispensations relating to the items on the agenda?
None I'm aware of.
No.
None that I'm aware of.
None that I'm aware of. None that I'm aware of.
Yeah, me neither. That's nobody then in that case. Right, a referendum is being held on Thursday the 20th for residents to vote on. There's a leaflet available parked on the board here. They're also available in the library. I guess you can get them all online, can you?
They're online, and they're also in various different shops along the high street as well.
Oh.
And every household in Portishead will get one.
We'll get one.
And as a drop to the post today.
Yeah.
We need to advise everybody to vote, please. Yeah.
To vote.
To vote.
To vote.
Just to
That's it.
vote. Just to vote.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Oh, there are 2 open days as well coming up. So 15th of July. Oh, there's a second one.
12th, is it?
They're on the sheet on Emma. You've got a sheet.
I think it's
on them.
next Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah. 12th.
I think it's next Wednesday. Yeah, but they are online again.
Yeah.
If anyone's got any questions on it, you can go and ask.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Well, next item on the here is 42A. This is the PCAA have elected to submit an objection to the planning application at Bristol Airport. That's relating to the discharge of integrated landscape and biodiversity. Is that for them?
Just for information.
Yeah. Right. 44 is NSC advised that they were now changing how they implement parking restrictions. They will now consider restrictions for the whole district each year. And they are committed to reviewing Nailsea and Cleveland this financial year 23-24. But from next year, they'll be dealing with the requests as they come in from the previous year.
Ask a question on that then.
Huh?
Ask a question on that then. The fact that we've been in discussions with NSC for the past 4
I was going to
years
say, yeah.
about parking restrictions, and they've told us, yes, we've got a budget, then they're telling us no.
So they
But
haven't.
now missing us again this year and going straight to outside of Portishead. I mean, seriously? Can we ask a certain exec member
Yeah, I was going
to
to.
go back to NSC, and if we need to, we'll write to them, because that's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And these residents are asking for help with parking. They can't park in front of their houses. They can't get to the drives. You can't get motor vehicles down roads. Your NSC, for the 5th year running, literally,
5 years, is it?
well, effectively, yeah, they've done nothing. They've done bits, but you could argue what they've done is relatively pointless. And we're still having issues.
Do we need to write to them again then and
Well,
chase them up?
I think we
Is
do.
that
I think
help?
Rogers.
I think we should
Yeah.
write to them again. This is the first I've heard about this policy when
That's
you,
highways for you.
when you said it there. But I'm wondering if that's officers rather than councillors. So I will have a word with the lead for highways, the lead councillor for highways, and find out what's going on there, because that's a bit strange. But I think we should probably put something in from our committee to say
I think we need
this
to.
isn't
Not
acceptable.
good enough, yeah.
It was originally, it was an officer issue. I'm not going to name him because it's not fair, but I'll tell you offline.
Yeah.
It was an officer issue, and Bob Ball had the patience of a saint, but ran out of it towards the end because it was just like ridiculous. And my words were to him one day, and actually these were his words, not verbatim, but very close to. Yeah, we don't mind parking on bends and curves like that because it slows traffic down. I just sat there on the end of the phone thinking, am I really hearing this from a highways officer? And that was his response.
It is Hannah Young who's in charge.
And,
She's the exec number for it. So I will for highways. So I will have a chat with her. I've got a few things I need to catch up with her now I'm back from my holiday. A lot to do with parking and parking restrictions around Portishead. So we'll find out where that goes, and I'll let you know in the future.
yeah.
Yeah, it would be good to get that feedback first before we write, so we've got some
Yeah.
We need the right officer.
information.
I think we should probably write off anyway, just to lay a marker down that
We should.
Portishead Town Council aren't happy, because when
Absolutely.
I'm down there, I'm not representing Portishead Town Council.
Represent Portishead as a whole.
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
a bit,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a bit different.
Yeah, no, I know,
So
yeah.
it's like a two-pronged approach, me plus the town council would make
Yeah,
more
I
sense.
just think we need to very vehemently go back with our disgust, because it is absolutely disgusting if that's what they're doing.
It
So,
is.
and the second question is, I want to know where the hell the money's gone, that apparently Portishead, quote unquote, has had in its locker to use against it. I mean, seriously. Yeah, then you wonder why, residents wonder why we get frustrated.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Martin, before we move on, can you go back to 4.3?
Yeah, sorry,
Electric
4.3.
charging.
I think we missed 4.
Electric ideas, I'm awfully sorry. Electric charging points. In response to Mr. Cartwright's request last month, a link to the map showing EV charging points was circulated to all members by email. Have you seen that?
Not like that one, I haven't, no.
Nobody's seen it at all.
I've seen it.
No,
No.
I haven't seen that.
You wouldn't have done because you're not on PAG.
So
Unless I might have missed it. I'll
It was just,
missed
yeah, it was
it.
just a quick liner
Oh.
with the email address,
Well, that's
with the
probably why then,
link
yeah.
on it.
With the link on
Okay,
it.
I'll reissue it.
Just, yeah.
Okay.
should we be asking for that again, you think?
Yeah.
No, that's fine, I can just resend it, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Super stuff. All right, parking restrictions we've done. Right, Weston and Brunel parking restrictions. NSC have advised that they will add this to their list next financial year, 24-25. However, photographic evidence needs to be supplied by us, they say, with all these people parking outside of 78 West Hill.
We were told it didn't meet the they were told that it didn't meet the criteria, so they needed photographic evidence to be able to take the matter up on your behalf.
And maybe suggest that these officers actually do their job, what they're paid for each month, get off their chair at Weston or wherever they're sat,
Do
and
it.
come to Portishead. I would actually draw them a map. Portishead, and I'll
And to
follow
do
the
it.
line all the way to
I
West
can't
Hill around the town. I mean, I know I'm being sarcastic, but seriously, if you go up West Hill, it's ridiculous. They put a lovely new bus
Yeah.
stop in there.
Yeah.
The bus can't get into it because of parking right outside it, blocking the thing. You got the resident which Nicola helped with, has put that double yellow line in. It's about so big. Well, what about the rest of it? And what about the bit before the bus stop? What about the
Before,
bit
yeah.
after the bus stop? What about the pinch point on the corner?
78 West Hill goes right up to Lower Down Road.
But it's
Opposite
got the whole
shops.
lot though. It's got the whole way up
Opposite
though.
shops.
Yeah, got the whole lot though. It's the whole.
to push this on, should we should we be offering to do this ourselves? Is it going to happen?
We
quicker
can't, no,
than-
we're not doing it ourselves. We'll write to Ennis.
No, that's
I'll
going to
formulate
take
a
that's
letter
going
and
to
I'll
take
share it with
time.
you all. I'm happy to put the
Oh,
letter
yeah, I know
together.
that.
I'm not even beginning to be amused.
Okay.
And the Brunel
And these are
parking
just residents.
restrictions were related to visitors and
Yeah.
medical staff and everything attending the,
Mm. That's right. If they
The
wanted
house itself.
more time,
yeah,
so that's on hold as well.
'cause it's still an hour there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to formulate the letter and I'll send it around to you all if you want me to do it. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll breathe first before I write it.
Okay. That's good. Right. 4.6 then. Urgent closure of West Hill Road on the 14th and 16th of June. This was an urgent road closure due to a burst water main. Has nobody complained about that?
No, it's been done.
It's been
It's
finished
the first
anyway.
water
so-
main that was burst while they were fixing the road, and they were told about it 4 times before they fixed the road. And guess what? I think they've dug it up 4 times, a beautiful new surface. Anyway, mind boggles.
Street trade licensing. This is for the Somerset grounds for the food festival. NSC consulted us, but didn't give us insufficient time didn't give us sufficient time to actually discuss it. A couple of members actually put in some comments. One said no objection. One complained quite bitterly that they had a great deal of sympathy for WASPI on this. The 3 events all in one going seems to be a recipe for disaster, really. Too many people, not enough spaces, not enough toilet facilities. Lack of space for sitting, picnic and recreation, and all that discordant noise from 2 different sorts of music venues, I'm sure.
Well, I spoke to NSC about this, had a very, obviously because Tanya Slatter wrote an email to the head of events and got a response back. And I had a long conversation, about an hour's conversation last week with the events head, who I actually know very well because I sign off and deal with most events in Portishead, the big events.
Yeah.
So I've got a decent relationship with them. We were made aware, but we were made aware back in November last year, and obviously we'd heard nothing since. And I mean, my memory's okay, but a lot's happened since November last year. So what we've agreed now is every month there'll be a list distributed to councillors only, and for councillors' eyes only, not to be shared outside. Reason being is events can move, timings can move. Therefore, they will share it with us just for information purposes. Any questions or concerns we got, we can go back to them. But then we'll get notified when the events, it'll come through PAG if it needs to come through PAG, etc.
Okay.
So that's been agreed with them. The actual food festival, which starts Friday and runs through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is a closed event. It is a fenced off area. It is ticketed, so it is limited to 499 people because that is what their licence is. So it is being controlled. The cricket club obviously event is happening, and obviously in the skate park launch event, the big loud launch event is happening obviously Sunday, 12 till 4. Our music actually is facing the other way. Our music is facing out to sea. Their music will be facing the other. So actually, we don't believe there's going to be a clash. We think ultimately they will actually blend in with each other quite well. However, we as a WASP group had a skate park meeting last night, and we are putting it all over social media every single day now. We have a live feed going out every day, saying to people, if you can walk, please walk. We accept it's going to be busy, but if you can walk or cycle or scoot or skateboard, please use other means in a vehicle, as in 4-wheel vehicle. So we're doing our bit. What the other 2 cricket clubs / festival, I don't know, but we're doing our bit to try and just help and ease it. So, because at one point we were told we may have to postpone, which there was a conversation, and it was up till
They didn't like that, did they?
Probably didn't. So it's going ahead, and we are going to blend in, and we're going to work with each other. So lessons been learned, and actually moving forwards, we'll all be aware. So if you do generally around events in Portishead, just fire me an email. I know most of them's happening anyway. I mean, organise the Remembrance Day Parade, Christmas lights switch on, the Christmas market, get involved in other stuff. So my name's generally banding around in Somerset anyway. So
That's
Just ask me, I can generally tell you most things. Events wise, anyway.
Well, everybody's happy with that, yeah. Okay, number 5, public participation. No, I want this. If you have any questions, can we actually do them at the relevant time? And we need to get on with the rest of the thing. Thank you very much. We need to now to.
Nobody online.
Sorry.
There's nobody online to ask.
No, okay, yeah, well, thank you. We need to consider and approve the minutes of the last meeting. Is everybody happy that it was a true record of? Oh no, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
I wasn't here, so I can't.
You can't mention. Yeah,
I can propose them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was here,
Second
I
them.
read them.
Okay, we have a vote on that then.
And a
Folks,
second, yeah.
everybody in favour? Thanks, Tim. Minutes of the last meeting.
Can we just revisit now that Tim's joined and see if he's got any declarations of interest?
Indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, have you got any declarations? Yeah. No. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Well,
Do we have to do a recommendation to sign? Or did we just do that?
You just did that.
That's all right.
You did the proposal
yeah,
and
sign that at
seconded
the
it,
end.
and then you put your hands up.
It just says here recommendation to consider and approve. And
And
the next
sign.
one says recommendation to
sign.
sign. I didn't know if we had to do it again.
So,
Happy to do it again if you want.
okay, let's. We're going to approve to sign it as well then, folks. Second. Second, thank you.
And I'll just add it
Another
as one.
second it.
Okay.
We're going to vote on it then. Everybody approves that thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So as everybody knows, NSC had a problem with its planning website today. So I don't know if everybody's seen everything that needs to be talked about today.
I have managed to spin through everything once it was back up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it came up.
Popular, isn't it?
Yeah, well, no, it was mid-afternoon, wasn't it? I was,
Sorry, was it your email?
whenever I sent you the email
Yes,
across to
somewhere around
say,
there.
I had it up on my thing and I just went refresh. It's like, it's working. So I banged you an email over once I checked that I could actually see stuff on it. But yeah, I managed to catch up on it.
Yeah. Is that the same for everybody, or?
No, I
No,
don't have much
they
chance
don't.
to work all day.
Yeah, sure. Well, they've sent some.
A few bits.
We got some plans on the board if you wanted to look at those and discuss them. But we ought to be taking this to. Do you think we should be taking this to the August meeting and discuss them then?
I think the ones that people that haven't had enough time, I think we probably should, 'cause it's only fair, isn't it?
Hmm.
I think we should ask, I think we're due an extension for obvious reasons. We can't control the website going down, it's not our website. But
When did the website go down?
I think it was a
Monday,
bit
wasn't
dodgy Monday.
It's not been working properly for 2 weeks because I've been trying
Yeah,
for
that's the same.
weekend before
Yeah.
last. So
Yeah.
Well, then
it's definitely
that's more than enough time for us to say we haven't had sufficient time to do it.
Mm.
If it was just like a couple of days, you might
definitely
think
not.
they'd be going like, well, you had the rest of the month. But
I think the issue I have is you've got some there that rolled over from last month.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I've done the ones that rolled over, but I think the last few.
so yeah,
I had time to spend on it.
are we all up to speed on the ones that have run over then? Because can we really ask for another extension?
Good.
Which ones are they?
The rolled over.
Right.
I sent an email, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just
Do you want me
look
to?
to the Outlook a minute.
I do have 2 questions on those ones that have rolled over. So.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Should we first of all, should we actually decide that the ones we haven't had time to look at should actually be taken to August meeting?
Yeah.
You all agree on that?
Well, you can ask, but they won't guarantee that you'll get an
No.
extension.
Yeah, well,
That's just how it is, isn't it?
we agree that we ask.
Yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
so- Okay. Emma?
So on the ones that have rolled on the ones that have rolled over?
I'm just trying to find the email.
Yeah, no, I
Yes.
can go through. I've
Yeah.
got them here. So we
It's the top
Okay.
five, isn't it?
top 4, I think. Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Boat
top
yards, St.
4, the
Joseph's.
boatyard, St Joseph's,
Yeah,
and adjacent to
Yeah.
Upton Park
well,
and the Riverside.
And Westways.
And the
River Lee,
yeah.
sorry.
The boatyard one, I think I picked up the same as what Roger did. So the plans that have actually been proposed haven't got actually any access for boats
In a boat shed.
in a boat
and
shed.
the boat
Yeah.
shed, yeah. Which seems a bit strange, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I don't understand, but the documentation itself mentions that it's not a change of use or anything like that. It is mentioning that it is going to still be used for that, for overwintering, for retention of all of what's going on within it. But the actual floor plan
Doesn't actually show it, does it?
It just shows glazed side or glazed front and a single entry normal door.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah, I mean, I've been down there over the years many times. It's like a big warehouse inside, and they had a big door on the front. They wheel boats in and out, and they do work on the boats, which is fine. And upstairs they had a small, like a mezzanine floor and a small chandlery up there where they sold different stuff. But it looks like what they're doing is they're having the ground floor as like a large chandlery stroke shop, essentially, yeah. And the upstairs as some form of workshop. So that's not going to be boats they're working on, because you're not going to get those in on the first
And there as
floor.
well.
Which one change of use, won't it?
They won't be taking up, the odd motor or something, but you'd say that really that should be looking at a change of use to retail use, being the predominant ground floor usage of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit of a strange one to demolish and rebuild and change of use without asking for change of use.
It's
They've not asked for change of use, have they?
No, there's
No,
no change of use that's been submitted. It's and as I said, the plans that have been submitted for the proposed plans anyway don't show any vehicular access of.
The floor plans show 2 open floors.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Floor plan, floor.
Floor,
Yeah, but
nothing,
that's
there's,
anything else.
there's nothing. Yeah,
That's right.
there's nothing on there at all, unless the architects haven't explained that glazed area is
Is
an up and over door or something of that nature. But it doesn't suggest
It's not
that.
drawn like it, is it?
No.
Well, I think we need to see a different plan then, don't we?
I think we need to understand actually what they're going to use it for. I think
Yeah.
ultimately, because if it's not going to be used as a boat storage / repair,
What about
boats.
change of use as well?
then it would have to be a change of use request, which is a totally different application.
Yeah, and there's nothing to suggest that that they're going to change it, not on the plans that they've submitted anyway. Yeah.
If it's a change of if it was a change of use, they consider consideration of potential additional parking issues as well.
Yeah.
So you've got the 2-pronged attack, haven't you? So we just need to understand actually what they're going to use it for, and then.
There was some talk of was it social or leisure facilities in there as well? I mean, it's all a bit woolly on the application. I just think we should
I think we should too.
put something in to say it looks like a change of use. It doesn't look like a boat shed any longer. We need further clarification on it.
There is already limited parking there as it is. It's a shared use area, isn't it, between the boats,
It
the
is,
cafe, the businesses, and the residential above the Persimmon Homes bit.
And the businesses and Persimmon Homes have parking restrictions which are enforced around there as well. So there's very little parking. Although there is a bit of parking by the
Well, there is a
side.
bit, not a lot, but it's
always
colour
full.
coded though, isn't it? So you can only park in certain areas at certain times of the day and all week.
There's a cafe and a shop there.
Yeah.
And that bit out the front, you fit about 4 cars in, that's unrestricted. But I think
That's also
everyone's
prohibited
always
as well,
parked there
isn't it?
all the time.
Yeah. So I think we should try clarification on actually what you're going to use it for.
Well, I think we should advise that we need to look at this again, don't we?
Yeah. However, the
Yeah, I don't
clarification
think we
needs
can
to.
advise to look at it again, can we? That's not our place, but we think we should point out
Well,
the shortcomings of the application. Yes.
Thank you for that. And the other one then?
And my other one is the application 23/P/1149 /FUL. It's the land adjacent to 301 Charlcombe Park.
Yep.
There's no mention that the resident whose park home it's next door to is being consulted for the change of use or for replacing
That's
that
correct.
that bank. There's nothing. There's no objections that have been raised that I can see on the site, but still, I don't know if we
But
should.
maybe no one objected on the site because it was down and they couldn't
They
object on
couldn't
it.
object, so, yeah.
I imagine by the time it gets to North Somerset, any objections will be raised on there.
Would have thought,
So,
yeah.
I mean, but I don't have an issue with it. It looks quite
that's fine.
reasonable.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to say we'd probably approve that, subject to no complaints from the neighbours.
Yeah,
Or
is
no
it-
objections from the neighbours would make sense,
Well,
wouldn't it? Then if something comes in later,
Yeah.
they've got that on their record.
Okay. Well, I actually talked to a couple of the neighbours, not the immediate ones to where the car park's going to be. And they seem to want it because it's a long way to walk down the hill and back again, because some of them are disabled anyway.
Yeah, that's what
And
we used to do a lot of shopping drops and stuff
that's
over
right.
there. So knowing it is loopy, isn't it? Which is fine and understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was just nothing to say that because that
Exactly.
piece of land is, I know it's a bank, but
Yeah.
it's literally just
Yeah.
it is butting up to the edge of where the
house,
actual
yeah.
home is. Yeah.
I think they need that after they put 4 park homes on the actual car park they had already.
well, yeah.
That may explain the
Yeah,
reason for the
so why-
application.
No, I
Because
think it was, wasn't
it is 4 spaces that they're asking for actually. Whether it's close to
Well, there's
Where
the
they-
parking is
Somewhere
quite
else.
restricted there now.
It
Mother-in-law
is,
lives
yeah.
there, and she's quite restricted.
yeah. It's
Luckily,
yeah,
she's given
I-
up driving, but visitor it can be difficult. It's
Yeah.
parking her.
that was my only comment on the ones that had rolled over from the last one. So yeah.
You'd like to approve that, would you?
Well, Roger's already tabled a proposal,
He has, yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're going to call
Anybody
for a
want to second
seconder.
that?
Okay, so just to verify, what we're doing about the boatyard now, so that
I
we're,
will come back to that afterwards because we're
Okay.
now talking about it.
If we can.
yeah,
We haven't finished that one, though.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm happy to
Proposal
second Roger's
seconded.
motion, so.
yeah, and we'll vote on that then, please, folks. Everybody agree?
Come on, Richard, yeah.
Thank you very much.
So did you want to go back to the boatyard cafe?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, sorry.
Do it in order.
That's all right.
We don't get lost.
We've got the highways improvement request next.
We were back on the
Let's go back to the
Back
boatyard.
on
We'll go back to the boatyard,
We're gonna finish
Martin.
the boatyard.
Back to the boatyard.
Back to the boatyard.
Oh, back to boatyard?
1003.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I think what we're about to say is we want to see further clarification, don't we, on what is the
We do.
use of the building going to be for?
Yeah.
Is it going to be for boats or is it going to be for retail? Therefore, we want clarification at this moment in time, so we can't vote on it. We just need to understand what it's going to be used for. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
to-
it's an
the-
objection, isn't it? Objection.
Well, we're
for those
objecting to its
reasons.
current
on-
potential
on-
use.
On the
Right,
grounds
yeah.
that
Yeah.
it doesn't look like, as a boat shed, it doesn't look like there's any
No,
There's a
access for
boat shed,
boats.
no? Yeah. Bob?
I was going to say, I'm more than happy to go down and discuss with them and just to verify what they're actually doing.
It's that timing issue, because it's
Yeah,
one of those
I know
ones
it's a
where
timing
if
issue,
we,
yeah.
if we get it into North Somerset, then it's their job to go and speak to them and find out what's going on. It's not really our job, but also it's like, if we don't do it here, then we've lost our opportunity maybe.
Hmm.
So we're objecting on the grounds of we require further clarification from the drawings, because what the drawings are showing and what they're suggesting are two different things.
Yeah.
So it's not replacement of an existing building, is it, effectively?
No, it does seem like a change of use, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
change of
from a
use.
boat shed to a shop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you want me to just read that back?
Yeah, read that back, make sure it
Well,
makes sense.
Yeah, because I've changed it a little bit
Yeah.
as we've gone. So Councillor Alger proposed objection on the grounds that the plans do not show access for boats, so it is unclear of the building use.
Yeah. As it's at the end, as it's intimating, it may be used for retail.
Intimating it.
Yeah. That's what we gleaned. I'm happy to propose it.
Second.
So,
Second, yeah. Okay.
Roger?
We'll vote on it, please, yeah. So everybody, good. Sorry then, shall I get on to the next one now?
I just need to clarify that all the other ones, so we're talking 1125
Yeah.
St Joseph's.
St Joseph's,
Joseph's,
we're
yeah.
talking 1156 8 Riverleys,
Mhm.
we're talking 1219 Quayside Quarry, we're
Yep.
talking 1237 5 South Avenue, 1179 72 East Cliff, 1253 87 Hillside,
Yep.
and 1105 Westways, and that you actually want to.
Sorry, Sharon, I've got some questions on some of
Oh,
those.
right.
Anyway, so yeah, let's go. Should we go through?
Yeah,
it
sorry, I
in
thought you was
order?
going to jump.
And then-
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
should we go to St
Yeah.
Joseph's and wait for obviously one of these residents are here to talk, maybe one of them to talk about, I don't know, or ask questions about.
observing today.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Right.
I didn't want to ignore you, that was all, I think
No,
you're here for
that's
someone to talk
fine.
about, so, sorry.
Yeah. So should we go down them in
I go them in order, St
order?
Joseph's,
Yeah,
and
St
work our way down,
Joseph's, yeah.
yeah, structural way.
So I'm in no objection on the St Joseph's.
Well, has anybody got an objection for St Joseph's? I didn't.
No issues with it at all.
No issues at all, no.
Can we propose and second that, please, then?
Yeah, I'll propose.
Thanks, Ben.
Happy to second it.
Yeah. Ben? Ben? Can we have a vote on it then, please? No objection. Thank you very much. So land adjacent to 301 Charlcombe again. Done. Next one is 1156. This is Riverleys. Proposed erection of a single-storey front extension creating accessible entrance and wet room, serving an accessible bedroom and a side extension to create a lift enclosure suitable for a wheelchair, and a proposed erection of a single-storey rear extension, conversion of existing garage and store into a multi-use room. I've only seen the plans, but
Yeah.
it seems all reasonable to me.
No objection.
Yeah, I
No.
think the person's got some sort of assessment that says that this meets their needs,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which was
that's it.
posted on there.
Yeah.
You know, no, I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary, no reason to
I think
object
so
to
at all.
that.
Yeah.
No, I've got none,
Good.
no objections.
Yeah, no objection.
No.
Good. Somebody,
Proposer, Roger?
thank you. Okay, we all vote on that then, please.
Second then.
Thank you very much.
Emma?
Yeah. Everybody.
Usual suspects.
Yeah. Wayside Quarry.
We're going to vote on that, we're Tanya, Sharon.
Sorry?
Vote on it, didn't we, it's all? We
Yeah,
all
vote
vote
on
on
that, no.
it. We've got to vote on it then. Oh, all those in favour of passing?
I thought we voted, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all in favour.
Okay,
Right, 1219, Wayside Quarry then. Proposed addition of parking space and erection of rebuilding a masonry wall, the erection of a new access steps to the house. Doesn't seem to be much of a problem, is it? I actually don't know
no problems with that.
Quarry
Yeah,
Road, there's
no.
no, no. Can we, no objections then? Can somebody
Happy to
propose
propose
that?
it.
Well, Ben, can we
I'll second that.
second it? Thank you. We will vote on it then, please. No objection. Thank you. Next one is 1237 South Avenue. Proposed loft diversion with one number flat roof dormer on the western elevation.
Yeah, I've got a question on this
Yeah.
one, sorry. There's been one public comment suggesting that the dormer is going to overlook.
Okay.
There's a couple of plans and it does show that it's kind of bounding on to another house, which is a lot more close than the other ones. But I don't know if there's nothing in the plans in terms of view, if you know what I mean. I don't know what
It wasn't clear there, was it? Because having had them, got them in my house, you can't actually see without literally stepping up away. So it's not
yeah,
a privacy issue. I don't think. It's my interpretation of it.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it seems a bit. I think the question is it's closed, but
the public comment suggested that it might be that they could see into the bedroom window. So
Is that one up on there? Is it? What number is it again?
Yeah, it's
uh,
on,
1237.
1237.
yeah.
It's hard to tell. I didn't see that it was causing an issue, but
Yeah.
it's,
It's always difficult, these, aren't they? Because,
There's so many properties in Portishead that could potentially see into somebody else's window.
exactly, yeah.
And dormers are well used in this type of extension without issue. But I mean, I'd normally say in these circumstances to recommend approval subject to the neighbours' concerns being taken into account,
Yeah, okay.
which sort of passes it down to North Somerset, unless we feel that it is a real issue, in which case we could recommend objection due to loss of privacy. But I didn't think it was that bad.
I don't think it's that bad. It doesn't intimate that it's that bad. I don't think my interpretation of the comment is it's just listen and kind of work with us. We're not saying no, but just can we have a conversation around it?
Yeah.
And that may just be putting hot frosted glass into something.
Yeah.
Which again you can work with easily, can't you?
Yeah.
Half and half.
Yeah.
So it may just be that's the way I've interpreted it, but
No, that's fine. It's just, there wasn't anything to suggest. There's at the moment there's nothing to suggest that that's the intention for the actual dormer windows or anything like that. But yeah, as long as I guess just if
Do you
that's
want to
taken
approve
in.
it subject to that? Subject to that?
So that'll probably be.
well, subject to consultation with and working with the resident to ensure that their privacy is maintained, isn't it? Is what we're saying.
Yeah.
That they're happy with.
And it will be
Both
like,
parties can engage with each other,
Yeah.
can't they?
So-
And North Somerset can ensure they write it in, subject to whatever wording they choose.
Yeah.
Once they've had a conversation with both.
can we propose that then?
Can I
Well,
just,
Cheryl,
can I
read
just
the
read
word
it out? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Second.
One second.
Well,
Cheryl,
he's
read it
racing,
out.
isn't he?
Well,
Let's try and get home.
Councillor Whitfield proposed no objection, subject to any neighbour comments relating to privacy being taken into consideration. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we good for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we good.
If there's a second there.
Second it.
Yeah, second pro. You got a vote on that then? Everybody in favour? Yeah. Thank you. Already done that one. Righty-ho. Right, 1179, 72 Eastcliff. Retrospective application for the installation of 6 roof lights in the main house and 2 roof lights in the garage and the outbuilding.
So this was not fixed. So these documents are still not available online.
Yeah,
I couldn't find them.
I could find everything else with the exception of these. It just came up with
Yeah.
the search return nothing. I tried postcode, I tried first line of address, and
Yeah.
the full reference. So, I mean, we're going to have to ask for a time extension on that until the plans are available. Yeah.
Because it's a retrospective one anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do.
Well, I
I
think
know
so.
we shouldn't just nod it.
No, I know we should. I know I'm not saying we should for 1 minute, but it's
Yeah.
the fact that it's been done. So
Yeah.
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 But we all agree.
We want to see the plans.
They're not waiting on us, are they?
No. And obviously, we want not only want to see the plans. What comments have any neighbours made?
Yeah.
Because it's again, it's not like you can do something once it's been done, but
Well, they
It's a bit
could
messy.
enforce them and take them
Yeah.
back out, but whether or not they would is
Well, exactly, so
a
they
whole
would, yeah.
different ballgame,
so 2 questions: one, to see the plans, please, information on it, and 2, are there any comments from neighbours, etc.
You're just going to ask for a time extension,
Yeah.
next time?
Yeah.
So, and that's for the information.
So just, if we could note at the same time that this one's not on the portal at all,
Okay,
so there won't be any objections because no one's been able to get on the portal.
That's
to
all
object to it.
right. That's all right.
If there were ever,
Yeah.
there couldn't be any objections. Yeah.
We're all in favour of that happening? Fine. Yeah, no
Proposal.
objections to that?
Propose.
I'll second it.
Yeah. All in favour? Thank you very much. 1253, 87 Hillside Road, retrospective planning approval for amenity works to the front garden, which have partially started. Proposed erection of a single-storey rear extension, a side garage roof extension, altering external appearance of existing dwelling, including the render roof tiles and the cladding.
Yeah, so this looks like it's quite a substantial increase in size of a 2-bed dwelling, which is obviously
Goes against our planning thingy then, doesn't it?
yeah. There's I know obviously if the works have already started out at the front in that sense, but it's the plans do still show that it's going to be a 2-bedroom dwelling, but there's a large dressing room as well, which could potentially have a change of use to a bedroom, which would make it into a 3-bed. But I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are.
It was a strange one, wasn't it? That one. The problem is it went on to North Somerset 26th of June. Shortly afterwards, their planning portal went down, and now we're discussing it. Potentially, it is in breach of our neighbourhood plan policy on 2-bed dwellings, but I'm not sure because I didn't have time to check it. So for me, I'd like to ask for a time extension on that one, so that we can have a proper look at it and see if it really does breach the neighbourhood plan.
Yeah, as I said, the plans that are in there at the moment, I don't know if we've got them on there, but the plan is to basically take the majority of the garden and extend it back. But yeah, there's the proposed plans include a dressing room, which is in effect a similar size to a bedroom. So you could in effect change that.
I think the rear extension, isn't it?
Yes, it's the rear extension.
The front's planting, I think.
Yeah.
I think I read it the right way around, but the rear extension looks to be at least 33% of the house again.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
But I mean, I only had a cursory look at it and went, it looks like it's about a third more.
Yeah, it's definitely more than
it's a big extension on the little house.
Sounds bigger than the proposal that North Somerset would allow anyway, if that's the case.
Bigger than you could get under permitted, but
that's right.
But which is why they're going for planning, I guess. It's not retrospective, but they've started.
They've started the work on.
Was that the landscape work?
The landscape work at the front, which kind of builds into the garden, what they're doing around the sides. So it does seem somewhat structural, really. I guess what they're doing at the front, anyway. But whether it's the same contractors, I didn't actually check on the plans of who submitted each of the individual plans. I'm not sure, but I think this probably needs an extension to review in more detail.
I think we should.
So that's a proposal for Roger and a seconder from Callum.
Anybody going to propose that? Somebody?
That was Roger. Seconded by Emma.
Emma. I'll vote on that then, please. Right. That's everybody. Sharon, thanks.
Do you want to just read what you put, Sharon, on that one?
To request a time extension. Yeah. I've put in there that you've discussed a time extension. It's not been on the website, and it could contravene Worcester Council Neighbourhood Plan, but I've not put that in the comment.
Right.
That's just for the discussion points.
Yes.
Okay. Last one then, 1105 Westways. This is Battery Lane. Proposed erection of external decking in the garden. Have you seen that?
No objection from.
I think it's fine. This way seems fine.
No, I can't see a problem with that. Right?
With what we're asking for and where it is.
Yeah, no, didn't seem to be a problem.
Somebody propose that then?
Happy to propose it.
And then second it. Vote on that then, please, folks. Everybody in favour? Thank you. It's the last of those, so we're down to 8. Late planning application and consultations. So these were circulated to everybody on the 3rd of the 7th. But in the light of the problems from members viewing applications on the website, might be an idea to propose writing to NSC and requesting a time extension so as we can discuss that in August meeting. Is that a sensible thing to do? Like anybody's, I've just seen it now. I've not seen them today.
I was going to say, Wood Hill Road one's just no statutory consultation. That's just a tree felling, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And the obviously the high street is.
The high street,
The
yeah, no,
McCall's
that's
issue.
brilliant. I mean, this is exactly what we need, more coffee shops.
Yeah.
Shut down all the other shops.
So-
Let's just have a high street full of coffee shops. That would be brilliant.
Don't forget we need some charity shops in between them.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
When you've got all that coffee, you've
Well,
got
I
time
mean-
to go and do charity shops as well.
I think if you can drink that much coffee, you probably need to shop in charity shops.
The trouble is with so many coffee shops, sooner or later, one or two are going to burn out.
I mean, market forces, there is really nothing we can do, but I think this one is probably the one that will take another one out somewhere on the line.
Yeah.
Because I think we're hitting saturation point, but you know, it's not.
I've got more around it, wasn't
I think Roger's got it now, isn't it? We've got coffee shop, coffee shop, coffee shop.
Yeah.
We've got charity shops, and we've got estate agents.
Men's hairdressers.
Well, and men's hairdressers.
Men's
So
hairdressers.
that means that we've got an absolutely fantastic computer shop as well.
Exactly.
You know, it's been there for 25
I
years.
I mean, I think ultimately, you know, in comments of residents have made comments over the past 4 or so years about the high street, it's struggling.
Yeah.
We've tried to help it with events that we're doing, but by allowing yet another same, I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my question about
I raised
diversity.
this, well it is, I actually raised this before you guys were here, so Sharon, why is this even coming to us now? Surely common sense has to prevail, and somebody has to say, hold on a minute, let's have a little bit of a mix up here, this is crazy. I mean, you can't officially say no, but at the same time, it might have to be a common sense approach. You can't keep saying to this, yes, the same thing, because otherwise you can walk down the high street, so stop at one coffee shop,
We can go.
go and get your key cut, get your hair cut, oh, why would just like go to another coffee shop, then go and get another coffee, then go to another estate agents,
Or the
then go
bank.
buy a sound system, then get your car fixed,
Yeah.
then go to another coffee shop,
Yeah, it's crazy.
then get your glasses fixed, then go to electricians, and then, oh, by the way, you got another charity shop and then another
Oh,
coffee
you
shop.
Go back to the other one, the other coffee shop.
Well, it's
Then
just,
you've got plenty.
The thing is,
I would
because of the
point out
size,
there's many towns around
But it-
the area with
yeah.
empty high streets,
Mm.
and we're quite lucky that at least we've got something going in.
This is all coffee
We
shops.
are,
too.
but people are crying out,
no, no, that's
right, so
fine.
people are crying out for a post office,
I know.
Yeah.
and we're going to put another coffee shop.
That's what I'm saying, that the size of that premises kind of lends itself to possibly even mixed use, because that's the only way that we're gonna get
My understanding is that they
potentially a
don't want to
post
split it up
office
though, do they? 'Cause
Coffee
it was
shop with a post office in it.
Yeah.
Yes,
a
exactly.
meeting place for people that have lost their banks, where they used to go and talk to each other, and particularly elderly residents who have asked, you know, can we help with this?
Yes, they do.
And yet, again, where's the joined up thinking here? We've got somebody who wants to open the post office. It's in the North Somerset Live magazine today, ironically, that dropped through the post in the East Wall anyway, Vale area, and that they're asking you, please, the post office are asking, well, okay, so we've got a unit which we know is owned by 2 individuals, as we put into one, well, that's fine, leave it as one, let's have it as a multi-use, as a meeting place, coffee shop and post office. Guess what? Winner, winner, everyone's happy, and actually you put something back in that's actually going to benefit the town again. Can we not kind of force some joined up thinking here, very politely? Surely.
You can, as a town council, we can lease the property and do what we want with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the issue, isn't it? We haven't got the money to do it, but
But that's
the
that's the problem. You see, if yes, it's good that the shops are being taken over and they're not empty, but it also works the other way as well. If they're empty, it pushes others to drop their rates down and rents down because obviously it's empty. So people don't want to see empty shop because the shop next to it suffers from it, and the owners are wise to that. So it works both ways. Is it better for another coffee shop to go in, or is it better to sit empty and have a few empty shops in the high street that pushes the rates rents down? Because we don't know that, do we? We don't know that.
No. The landlords will not put the rent down when a shop's empty, because if they do, when everyone else comes up for rent review, everyone will expect the same reduction and they'll have nothing to defend it with. They would rather leave it empty,
Yeah, of course.
unfortunately. And from-
I'll debate
from
that
sad
until I see
experience
it.
over the last 25 years, I can tell you they would rather leave them empty than give a reduction.
But I don't know what, I mean, as you said, there's no,
Our hands are tied.
our hands are
Tied,
tied, but
really.
I mean, it's just lunacy to,
The trouble is that the public will direct at us because they will think that we're partly involved in it.
But how can they direct it at us when we're openly
Because
in a
they're-
meeting?
because they're
being-
looking
no,
at
hold on,
point,
we're
yeah.
in a meeting being recorded, we're trying to fight the residents' corner here, and after some common sense from somebody to use that thing in between your ears as a brain. Use it, please, come on. The high street needs its help. We're trying to do it to town council by doing the events we've done the past 2 years, and we're trying to push to get someone in who wants to run the post office and have dialogue with the post office and have dialogue with these landlords. Yet they want to stick another, I'll say, bloody cafe in the high street.
Making, yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Paul,
Yeah.
I think
I know,
Paul, to be honest.
no, I know I'm not part of this committee, but as a councillor, I agree with a lot of what said. It's absolutely vital that any unit in the high street has got people in. It's it's commercial, and we have limited decision making on what goes in there. Ultimately, it's down to the landlord to rent it out to what, and they will get the most they can. The worrying thing for me is that we're getting some bigger names moving in to the high street and the coffee shops, and those smaller independent coffee shops will be the ones that lose.
yeah.
They'll be the ones that fall out, and they'll be the ones that really we should be, as a town council, we should be supporting.
Yeah.
Which is what we're trying to do, isn't it, indirectly? We're trying to make sure we support them all, but as we've driven, particularly Janet as a driver, sorry, Roger, this evening, Janet's been the driver particularly for supporting independent businesses.
Yeah.
And not just Janet, but all of us, but Janet has, got the stickers and stuff like this. We have to back them in. I just think, if we can object some way, shape or form, we have to object, I think, because I think it's ridiculous.
Because I think, the old McCalls, I think it'd be ideal for someone like PC World to come in, wouldn't it?
That doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Seconded.
Probably PC World now, isn't it?
What I was going to say was, I've been around in Poised High Street for an awful long time. 30 plus years ago, I was looking for a shop shop in Poised High Street that I could utilise for my business as an insurance broker. And there was a shop that came up, used to be Bellows, the TV repair shop, which would have been absolutely perfect for me. Yeah, no, it's now Boots.
Yeah.
Before they knocked it down and rebuilt it. But yeah, it would have been absolutely perfect for me. It was up for sale. I wanted to buy it. I went to the council. I asked for change of use because of insurance brokers isn't retail. It was retail before, and they said no, you can't have change of use on that because it's against the Poised town plan. You can't have too many of a certain type of business too close together. Now that town plan no longer exists. That was many, many years ago. But whether or not there's any opportunity or will be any opportunity in the future for that type of rule to go back in, I don't know. Maybe they just outlawed it. I don't know why it disappeared, but I know you couldn't have one financial place, which insurance was seen as being one financial place within a certain distance or another. We even got the ruler out, and it was too close to an estate agent or a bank, and we couldn't have it. But yeah, so there used to be, that's what I'm getting at, there used to be controls in place to stop these things from happening. However, sorry, I think I'm dying. However,
is that the only way then we can actually do anything about this? Can we bring, what's the legislation about bringing that back?
So I'm still alive.
Well, that's something to discuss at further points, isn't it? Obviously there is a certain plan that's being discussed this month, which, not saying on that now. But I think ultimately we have to register our objection. In my opinion, we register objection to this because actually this is not helping the high street. This is not benefiting the high street, and this is not creating variety and options in the high street to support businesses, and it's not supporting what the residents are asking for, and that is a post office, which there's an individual waiting in the wings that wants to discuss, but nobody's prepared to discuss because, as Roger's alluded to, guess what? The kingpins all want the money.
Yeah.
So I just think I think we can do is object to it. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
So objecting to both.
Well, the time extension probably.
Oh, well, I thought that's where we were going with it, was what you wanted was a proposal for a time extension to be able to discuss it next month.
But will they carry on with the work?
There's already started working there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in there today.
Got to do that now.
Anybody can do that.
We should
The problem is
object,
I
sorry.
don't
I
think
think
there's
we
any
should.
objection that we can raise that's an official planning objection that North Somerset will take any notice of at all.
Anyhow.
We can say we can say we don't like it.
Why can't we say we object?
We can say we object to it.
I
I don't see
don't
point
see
in asking
why
for an
not.
extension.
Yeah.
If we all agree in here with what I'm saying, that we object to it on the terms of what I've said, there's no point asking for an extension to in August. We'll come back and discuss the same thing.
Yeah,
So
sure.
is that a proposal you're putting?
That's my proposal, that we
Right,
object to it.
Yeah.
Anybody second
I
it?
totally agree on that.
Yeah, can we all vote on that then, please?
Yeah, hold on, Martin. I'll let Sharon do it.
Sharon, catch up.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
propose objection on what grounds?
We're not creating diversity within the high street for different varieties of shops, and
We're potentially putting local
local businesses
resident-run businesses at
At
risk.
and ignoring residents' requests for a post office.
Definitely
I think that's been there as well, because that's a key point of this.
Yeah.
I agree.
Snaffling the availability of real estate on the actual high street.
Right, can I just read this back then, is that okay? Okay, so I put proposed objecting on the grounds that it is not creating diversity on the high street and putting local business in jeopardy.
Yeah, particularly, I'd put in brackets, particularly independent businesses.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll put in local independent businesses.
Yeah.
We're putting about the post office or not then?
Are we going to put the post office in?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we should.
yeah.
As well, yeah.
We need to make a stand on this, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Limiting the availability of potential locations.
We then also present a post office being put back into place in Portishead.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one of the other coffee shops closes down, we'll have that one.
Different word. And limiting the availability of to accommodate post office availability of.
Limiting availability of suitable space for a
That's
post
it,
office,
yeah, space, thank you.
which the residents of Portishead are crying out for.
For a post office,
Yeah.
okay. Got a seconder?
Okay.
Yeah.
Emma?
And this is going on both.
Do you want to vote on that
You
then?
want that on you might
Both,
as well.
yeah,
it's the
put them
same-
on both,
same
yeah.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the second
Yeah.
one is predominantly about the
Yeah.
illuminated signage,
Yeah.
but
that's all part of it.
only-
It's all part of the same thing. All
Yeah.
items the same.
you can have your sign, but you can't have your shop.
We're just going to put the same one on, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all those in favour then of that going through as that
Sorry,
motion?
Mm.
we're all in favour.
Yeah, lovely.
I'm just going to abstain on that one.
You're going to abstain, are you? On both of them? The signage
Yeah,
one
The
and
signage
the,
is
were you-
right,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Carol Ann, Roger, Sharon.
Carol and Roger, was it? Okay.
Yeah, we're going out.
Yeah, they're ganging up on us.
Go on, Paul, yeah.
I'm just making my presence felt for the first time.
Okay.
By not just going,
Okay,
You understand? Okay.
I've caught up.
Right one, highways improvement request. This is the Brampton Way issue. Proposal of highways improvements to restrict parking on the main Brampton Way road. High Street to Exeter Road between the two areas marked on the, you've all got a map?
Yeah.
Yeah. How is this going to be dealt with outside of what they've said that they've already postponed until next year?
Well, we don't know that.
Process,
Do we?
it goes on the list and
Just-
then they'll deal with it next year.
No, right, okay.
Can I ask a question on this?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to mention the resident surname where I think this has come from? Or not? I think I might know about this because I got an email on it. I've just realised.
Okay.
I prefer not to use names because it
Can I show you on my
identifies
phone? Then?
somebody.
I'll put the surname on phone and show you.
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Does it matter, does it?
All right.
Are you good, is it for the purpose of you giving an interest?
Yeah.
Okay. No,
That's fine then. Thank you. Just clarifying. I didn't want to get myself into trouble.
hang on, just a sec.
Yeah. So we consider this recommendation,
Hold on a minute,
everybody, when you're ready?
This is not the disabled one, is it? It's the other one.
Yeah, no, it's the other
Yeah,
one, yeah.
standard improvements. Right, streets next to road.
No, you're okay.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we all had time to consider this, you can propose that,
If I could speak to it.
right?
Just escape. So my understanding is we've had a form in, we've got a procedure, yeah? Form comes in from a member of the public saying, please can I have these changes?
Yeah.
And then what, we just agree with whatever they say on the form and recommend it? Or,
You debate it.
yeah, because no, my thing is that, one person's asked for something, and only one person's asked for
Is it
something.
only one, is it?
But
Yes.
it says a resident,
Yes,
yeah?
that's correct.
So only one person's asked for something. Do we really want to make policy based upon one person?
No.
Because you know what, if we recommend it and it goes through, and then what, everyone else is going to want it, aren't they? Yeah. So maybe rather than just recommending it, we should consider what procedure we need to look at this properly, whether or not we should pass it to the ward councillor to investigate further and come back.
That's what I was going to say.
It's gone down this process already, so what happens is you discuss it, see whether you want to support it or not, then it goes to the district councillor and they'll come back and let us know whether they'll support it or not. And at that stage, if they support it, it goes on to Northampton Council. If it doesn't, then it doesn't go on.
Right. So we're the first stop,
We are.
and then it goes on to the
We
ward
are, yeah.
councillor, which sort of makes sense then, doesn't it? Yeah. So
Well, I'm surprised there's only one person gone for this, because we've been asked by several people around town about this situation.
I think I've had it mentioned, and probably in roughly the same point during the election as well, that there's a specific problem in a certain part of Brampton Way that they want dealing with. And I'm guessing, because I can't remember what area it was, I'm guessing this is probably the culmination of that. But it would be nice if they had to get 5 or 10 people round there to agree to it before it came to us, because it just seems a bit strange that one person can request it.
But on this though, sorry Emma, you go.
No, I was only going to say that there is, do you believe, Sharon, you probably would know that there is we have got some kind of software for consultation available, haven't we? Can we distinctly sort of get a cohort of,
I think there was something,
We
wasn't
ran it
there?
for another year.
Yeah.
So perhaps we could actually go out to consultation with the affected residents,
Commonplace, isn't
between
it?
Court Close and Fulton Close and
Look, complex out.
yes.
So that's how we can do it. We can map it that way, and the residents then comment
And
accordingly.
then, yes, yeah.
I think that's a good idea. My comment on this would be, okay, double yellow lines, fine. Signage, fine. Speed bumps, fine. Planters. There was a whole hoo-ha regarding planters
I don't think we want.
during COVID, post-COVID, and it's still rumbling on, and they're still managing some places to get them removed. Spent a fortune on putting planters in. They're now taking them out again, particularly around Gordon School, etc., etc. And they put in a lovely red and white plastic speed buffer things. Well, crash test dummies, really, weren't they? I think the concern is one resident's asking, yet there are other residents around this town. I go back to my point right at the start of the meeting. We've got a spreadsheet as long as my arm and keeps growing by the day of resident requests and council requests for double yellow lines, restricted parking, signage, etc., etc., etc. and a certain officer says, and they've documented certain things in email to councillors, some of them aren't councillors anymore, we're not going to do it, blah, blah, blah. Yet we've now got this. I mean, it's like putting salt on a wound, let's just keep rubbing it in and keep twisting it, isn't it? This is what this feels like. Genuinely, to me, it feels like we're just going to keep turning the screw. And at some point, you'll submit. Well, they'll pick the battle with the wrong people, I think. I think they're realising that. And I think this is what I go back to my point right at the start of the meeting. We object to what we do at the start of the meeting regarding their comments on the highway works. Not nothing this year. If it's going to get done this year, next year, the year after, well, who knows? We need to do a proper consultation. But I think North Somerset officers, highways officers, need to come and talk to this committee and potentially in the whole council and residents and explain what is their strategy for Portishead.
Yeah.
So at the moment, the way I see their strategy is, we've got a box of paper, we're going to chuck it in the air, I'm going to see who catches it as it falls, let's just hope the wind's not blowing. That's what it feels like. And we are being, every single time, pushed to the back of the queue, yet if we want any works done, like at the top of Avon Way, we have to contribute out of our taxpayers' money again, as in the precinct money again. We want to do work on Bristol Road. What's North Somerset answer? You've got to pay for it again. Well, hold on a minute. This has to be a two-way street here. We all pay our council tax. Out of that council tax, those percentage of bits, and the precinct comes back to Portishead. And I go back to my point. They're not listening to us. They're gonna start listening to us. And this is this is how we make a stand, and we say no. We're not saying no because we object to what the residents are asking for. I'd like to see more residents asking, that's what they want. We're objecting to the fact that North Somerset aren't listening, and they keep shoving stuff down the line every time. If it suits them, they'll let it run. If it doesn't suit them, and suits certain officers, or I'm going to say officer actually, because there's one individual I have a massive problem with. And I think that,
yes, but we won't mention names.
no, but I think that to me is ultimately the problem here. They need to listen to us because they are there to represent what, as councils, we ask for. The officers work for the councillors who work for the residents. Residents are asking us for this, and this. We say yes, we agree to it. North Somerset councillors at times say yes, sometimes they don't, same as us. It then gets to an officer, I do what I want anyway.
It does feel like that sometimes.
It does feel like, genuinely, that's what. So, can we?
I'm down at North Somerset, and I can tell you it feels like that sometimes. We have been discussing in executive down at North Somerset the potential for ward budgets for highways work. That's not a quick fix. We're not going to get that sorted like in the next few weeks. That's going to be months away, if not longer. But there is a potential that maybe the ward councillor at North Somerset will have more control over what goes on highways wide within their area, and that maybe a budget to deal with that, and they'll be able to direct work a bit more locally than taking hopefully a lead from their town councils or parish councils. But that, I mean, that's just a potential for the future. But something's got to give because it's not working the way it is. And I think all of us down at North Somerset, we know it's not working the way it should be, and we're trying to find solutions. But it's not easy when the problems have been entrenched for many years, I think, and that's the problem.
It's also not easy when plenty things get passed off and they actually go against their own parking conditions in, like the prison. It doesn't help anybody, but who deals with it? Who is the one that's getting the flack day in, day out? We are. We're trying to represent the residents of this town as best we possibly can. And it does come frustration. This is why I'm so frustrated about it and so passionate about it, I suppose, at the same time, because we need to start being listened to. We have done so much. We've actually done, particularly Bob Ball and Paul Gardner, and I was involved right at the start. We did an immense amount of, we actually did the donkey work for North Somerset. We did the work for them, yet they still ignored us. And you can actually, as you come down Harbour Road, prime example, come towards the Harbour side practice, you've got all that parking on the left-hand side of the vets, causes a complete bottleneck. You then got the junction, which people all park on both sides of the junction. You then got past the junction. They then suddenly, miraculously overnight, as if by magic, The bus stops reappeared and repainted. The double yellow lines appeared and have been extended recently as well. Yet they're not actually doing their job because they're still creating a bottleneck. So they're not done it properly because they're not consulting people. They're not talking to us. We know what the problems are, and that area is going to become an even more of a problem if this pig in the sky appears of a train line. And that's 4 years away, and obviously I live right behind it. They're already doing stuff there now every day of the week at the moment. And we already know, because we raised this concern, that the minute it comes in, what's going to happen to the Vale and the village quarter particularly, they're going to become an absolute rat run and parking zones for everyone, because nobody wants to pay at the car park. There's no doubt when National Network Rail, isn't it? Network Rail then puts out the car park, I'm digressing here slightly, but it will go to a certain company, pretty convinced who it will be, and then they'll park on the side streets. So we did ask for this to be considered by North Somerset and put in no parking zones or making permit areas within certain perimeter areas of this area. They need to start listening to us, and this is where we start making a stand and we say no. We've had enough. 4 years of rubbish is enough.
Parking permit areas, a full review of parking throughout certain areas of Portishead is on my list of things that has already gone to the executive member for highways.
But it couldn't happen initially.
And on my wish list that's in front of the leader of the council as well.
Well, the previous leader of the council, I believe, was trying it in their ward, and they were the guinea pig to see how it's then going to get rolled out to North Somerset. It worked quite well apparently, but how was the leader of the North Somerset Council at the time? Now where are we in Portishead? A couple of years later, we're still nowhere further forward. We're discussing items like this because residents have got serious concerns. So we're going around in circles with it. We're discussing the same things.
But Tim's on planning, ain't he, Tim?
Yes.
So he's on the planning committee, so he's going to see these come back down into North Somerset planning at some stage. And I imagine that he's going to be well prepared after tonight.
Yes.
To pass on the thoughts of the town council.
This Brampton Way thing though, that's all people stuff, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm suggesting that we don't object to it, but what I'm suggesting is we do a consultation, because one resident's request for the rest of that area isn't enough and isn't justification. And
I think it would be nice to have a policy that says that when we get a request from one person, we do a consultation.
Have to back it up on for the residents.
Yeah, this was the new process that Paul put in. It's the fact that when somebody requests something, they do it in writing and then we consider it.
Yeah, we can change it though, can't we?
Provided it was 6 months ago, yeah. Provided it was 6 months
We
ago.
need to find out if it was 6 months ago, don't we? And is it this committee that did it? Yeah. So as a committee, as long as it was more than 6 months ago, we could change that. We can amend it without changing it, can't we? So we could add something to it as long as that doesn't negate the entire thing in the first place. That's my understanding. So we could add an extra step to the process within 6 months, I think. That came from right at the back here. I don't know where I got that one.
So we're proposing at the moment we have a consultation. I don't know, we're proposing we have a consultation on this, isn't it?
You can just defer it because there's no deadline on it. So you can defer making a decision and then take on board, revisit.
I'd be happy to go with, we do a consultation on this one, and then we can look at the process next month or something, maybe get that on the agenda.
Can we have a second item, another proposal within this item, that we actually then look at the new process for looking at this general highways issues around the town, and how we then deal with North Somerset.
So your proposal is to?
Well, the proposal is that we open a consultation on this, is the first one, for the residents of Brampton Way to be consulted.
And adjoining roads, I guess. Isn't it?
Well, the Brampton Way in general isn't just that
And the
area.
roads feeding off it.
Yeah.
Covered up to Exeter Road where they.
And then we review the process.
And the second one is to review the process and dialogue with North Somerset.
At the next meeting, when we know what the ins and outs are of being able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a proposal to open a consultation for the residents of Brampton Way and roads feeding on from it and to reconsider the process, yeah?
Yeah.
Ben's proposing, I assume.
I'll propose it,
No,
yeah.
second it.
I'll second it.
Yeah, we'll vote on that then, guys, please. We'll go in favour. Yeah,
Okay.
that's everybody.
And the second part of that is that when we just obviously vote on the fact that we're going to bring it back for discussion as a separate, totally separate item in August, isn't it?
Yeah, did we not say that we were
No.
going to review it at the next meeting?
No, haven't done that bit, no.
Oh, right, so yeah.
I think we
we're
should.
gonna
So
do
that's
that
the
as
second
a-
proposal in the same part.
Okay.
We bring it back as an agenda item in August for discussion
So
around.
who's going to do the report and everything on that? Who's taking the lead with that?
Wanna work with me on it, we'll do it together as a double
Yeah,
act.
yeah,
Roger and
I'll
I do it then, I'm going to do it with Roger. We'll come back with a proposal.
We just need to know,
For August, yeah?
yeah. I guess we've got the existing policy written down somewhere.
Yeah.
So we just need a copy of that.
Just get a copy of
Could
that.
It'll just be in the minutes, so I can win over to you.
Just bang
Yeah.
it over to us when it was
Yeah.
done and we can work it out from there, can't we?
Yeah, work our way backwards of what we need to do, whether it's a complete change or it's a reword.
Good. Yeah, no, I'm happy.
So I'm going to propose that as a
Propose
motion.
it, second it.
Second it again, yeah.
Everybody in favour of that?
Lovely.
That's everybody.
Sorry, I just think we have to get this bit right. If we don't get this right now at the start of this 4 years, we've got to get this right. We've got to nail it. I can't go through another 4 years of
Yeah,
auditing
no,
heads with officers and also it's not right. We need to start listening to us. That's what we're paid to do.
we need to get this bit right.
Yeah.
We need to get the communication with North Somerset right. We need to work out what's going on in the highways department.
Yeah.
But yeah, the highways department isn't being forgotten. It's on my radar. I am chasing them up on some items that I raised before I went away on holiday in the next few days. So there's a lot of highways issues going on around Portishead and just outside Portishead that's going to take a lot of work, I think.
We're going back to a comment. I know you weren't here for the last full council meeting, but the comment that was made, I believe a resident raised it, and then who is now a resident, then answer the question of the resident. If you get that. Obviously, that our policy, when we were originally elected back in 2019, that we're going to look to sort out the infrastructure around the town. And this forms part of that issue, that we have been fighting it. It's the fact that we've been ignored at points and they've just gone on and done what they wanted to do. So we need to make sure our voices are heard, which is where you come in.
Yeah,
Should the exec-
I'm trying to get the exec for highways to come and do a walk around Portishead with me, a number of these places, to see what the issues are.
They have done it
We've done it
several times,
before.
Get
several
it, yeah.
times.
With new exec in there. So
Well, it is. And
new
also,
member, so I'm trying to get her arm up her back and march down a few streets
and
to see
also,
what we can sort out.
it's like fairness to the highways. Obviously, it's the Rob Thompson, wasn't it? Moved on,
Yes,
didn't
yeah.
it? So it's been now replaced, and he was very, very good. He was trying to help us, but he was being hindered. Obviously, he can let one man is only do so much. So I was just thinking, yeah, if we can do that, and then people will go out with you because it has to be done. We move on. 9.2.
I feel that North Somerset is a bit of a jigsaw puzzle down there, with everyone seemingly pulling in different directions all at the same time. And it's a bit of a nightmare. It's really difficult to get your head around as well.
2 words, no strategy.
It does feel that way sometimes.
That's it. All clear.
Anyway, where were we?
9.2.
9.2.
What's the public spaces protection orders?
Yep. North Somerset Council is currently consulting on these orders. The orders were introduced in North Somerset in 2017 and are part of the Anti-Social Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act 2014. And it's impose a limit on how many dogs can be walked at any one time and extend its powers to be able to confiscate intoxicating substances and associated paraphernalia. So we got DO2, which is Portishead Promenade, and it's suggested that all dogs should be on leads for that. DO3 is the Marina, all dogs on leads to include Lockside Square. And DO6 is Portishead Sportsfield to ban dogs altogether. Consultation closes on the 9th of July.
Do we know when the consultation started? Because obviously the 9th of July is
Say, is it?
just a couple of days away.
Yeah.
Well, it's Sunday.
Do we know when it was this consultation started?
Uh,
'Cause it's again, it's North Somerset, and it's like, why, this is quite an important thing, and it's obviously been highlighted in the town many a time. And it's just like, well, why is it not out there for everyone to fill in a consultation?
There was no dates on the drafts, on the
No, I couldn't
attachment.
find it.
No, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
We got a date when the consultation originally started. So I've just asked my partner to actually put it on social media for people to start filling it in. Because obviously we've only got now 4 days.
Yeah, they didn't actually notify us. I picked it up myself from North Somerset Council's planning website.
So 3 questions on this then, I've got. Obviously Bob's asked one of them as such. This goes back to a point that we raised in North Somerset. North Somerset have not got a clue what the word consultation means. They need to go back and look at what the dictionary's definition for a consultation means, because they just don't have a clue. Genuinely, we've raised this with them for the past 4 years, numerous times. Slade Road is a prime example. They didn't get the answer they wanted. So guess what? They ignored the residents to go back out again. Well, that's not the point of a consultation. If you don't like the answer, well, then don't do a consultation. Unlucky. The residents spoke. That's it, end up. Goes back to my comment to Roger a minute ago. There is no strategy within North Somerset. They haven't got a clue. Impose a limit on how many dogs can be walked at any one time. Well,
How do you do that?
where? How do you do that? Who's going to police it? I mean, I am aware there is an issue with dog walkers, professional dog walkers, taking 6 or 7 dogs out, for example, on Kilkenny Fields at any one time, and there is just no control whatsoever, so people aren't walking there at the moment. Generally, they're going elsewhere. All dogs on lead on promenade, all dogs on leads, Lockside Square, okay. Porter Sports Field.
Which one's
Which
Portishead
one's
Sports?
Porter Sports Field?
The maps are up round the corner here. I think you'll find it's.
I mean,
it's
my
the town
concern
council.
is, as Ben said, who's going to police this? Who
It's
is?
behind Bristol, it's on Bristol Road.
But there is no police.
It's a public space.
How you can't? So who's going to? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do
So
it?
that was.
Do you know how many people don't have their dogs on lead along the promenade
I think,
per day?
I think the issue here is that
Martin,
it
if the
gives,
unit opened,
it gives the
if the
police
unit opened.
the power to do something if
They didn't even
if
notify
it
us.
becomes a
In fact,
major
that's the
problem.
website.
Yeah.
It is a major
It doesn't mean that the police are going to be sat on the promenade 24/7 waiting to shoot anyone who inadvertently lets the dog off their lead.
No,
But it does mean that
Whilst
if-
drinking a gin and tonic out of a
there's
can.
there's
if
no
there's
enforcement.
a major problem somewhere, then at least the police have the power to do something about it. That's what that's about, isn't it?
I suppose,
And the dog walking thing with the number of dogs, sadly a lady was killed walking lots of dogs, wasn't she? It was all over the news some months back.
So-
And maybe it's sensible to put a limit on that anyway. Although,
But
you
then
know,
you've got
many
to
things are
suggest
limited
that it's a
without
limit
much
on the number
enforcement.
of dogs that one person can be in control of. And then that's going to cause an awful, because it sounds,
limiting freedom, isn't it?
because,
You can't do
and
that.
then, because it sounds like, you know, you're going to have to book your slot to go and walk your dog.
But how are you going to police it? So
Yeah.
my main point, I think 2 points is, one is how dare they run a consultation without consulting people? Well, I'll tell you why, because they didn't want the answers they were going to get, that's why. Point 3, PHD06 Portishead Sports Field. If I'm correct, so I've interpreted that plan right, that is Portishead Town Football Club, leased land from Portishead Town Council, i.e. it is owned by Portishead Town Council. Therefore,
is it now?
how dare they put out a consultation on Portishead Town Council land they have no right to? Absolutely disgusting, if I've got it right off the back of that plan. And I'm not the only one who's just checked it. Absolutely, how dare they? So my proposal is that we have a written explanation. One, they pull down these consultations with immediate effect. 2, we want a written explanation about why these consultations are coming out. And 3, if my assumption is right and it is Portishead Town Council land, we want an apology from North Somerset Council for running a consultation without asking Portishead Town Council, if I've interpreted that correctly.
There is a number of discrepancies, really. It says that the consultation is going to close in 1 day, 2 hours, 55 minutes, which isn't something,
No.
which isn't
No,
nice.
It's an absolute farce.
And
The
the
whole
summer,
thing is.
But also the points on it are not altogether clear.
no, and
No, they're not.
The
It-
number of dogs being walked, what is that?
yeah,
What do they mean?
it actually says also it's extending the existing requirements and not necessarily, because the summary just mentions Marina and Lockside Square.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I found out about it by just going online.
Yeah.
But I know 2 of the girls in the office that have signed up for consultation, as have I, received it and did their own consultation response as a person.
I've filled mine out already tonight.
Yeah, but the point is though, Bob, an officer's had to find it. It's not been presented to the town council
Yeah.
as a consultation or consultations for the town council to consider and promote the consultations.
Yeah.
And I go back to my third point about the land. That is
Also,
Naughty.
Bristol Road residents, as you'll know,
yeah,
most of them have a licence from the town council
yeah.
to be able to come out the back of their
That's
properties
correct, yeah.
directly onto the grounds.
And we just
So,
approved some of them in the past year. We've approved another 3 or
Yeah.
4, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah.
it would, the duty will probably be on us as well to write to them, and it's the first we know about it.
Yeah. Oh, and if we are correct, we want to, I mean, the plan's there. Everyone's saying Paul just checked it as well. And it's clear as mud that that's our land. So I'm asking if I've got it right. I want a written apology from North Somerset Council. I don't want these pulling with immediate effect. Whether it's 1 hour, 2 hours, 20 seconds, these have got to be
Yeah.
pulled.
I've just gone onto the website page for it that's linked at the bottom here. It seems to say that the 3 ones here, PhD 02, 03 and 06 are existing ones, so they're already in place.
It's extensions to them.
And we are talking about now whether or not to renew those. So there's just renewals of something that's already in place. And the other bit from here, it seems to say that the other 2 are proposals which aren't part of that consultation.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they're asking for us our opinion as to whether or not we would support imposing a limit on dogs and expanding the powers to confiscate intoxicating substances and associated paraphernalia.
There's nowhere to actually.
So both my
there's
beer
nowhere to
and the
respond.
glass that it's in, yes, that's paraphernalia.
It's not clear though, is it?
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
not
problem.
clear, and there's
It's
nowhere
not
to
clear.
respond on that basis, is there?
No.
But this one here is the consultation page on those 3 to respond as to
Yeah,
whether
it's like a
whether
tick sheet.
to respond
Yeah.
as to whether or not we agree or disagree with renewing the ones which are already in place, and the other 2, the limits on the dogs and the
Paraphernalia
powers
stuff.
to take stuff away, that those are new powers that they're saying would we support or not support.
But there is nowhere to vote. There is nowhere
Not-
to.
not on
to-
those 2. No,
That's the
because-
way I've taken it as well.
Because they're not
Yeah.
because they're not
Yeah,
re-
yeah,
because
but-
they're not renewals.
Yeah.
These are just renewals. These
Well,
are we're
this is
thinking of
same.
doing this. Would you support us in doing this or not?
But there's
So
nowhere to
it's-
feedback.
But it's not
There's-
that one's not part of this consultation. So it seems to me that there's 2 separate things. What's
That's
our
not how
opinion?
it is though, is
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
What's our
yeah.
opinion
On the
on,
sheet, is it?
on
Yeah.
giving that?
Right.
And the other 3 are renewals, and what I guess
Existing.
everyone who wants to fill this in, what's their opinion?
So when
on
was the
those being
last,
renewed?
consultation then done?
3 years ago.
2026.
Yeah.
So what's the
Last
consultation
review,
report?
2020, yeah.
So can we have the
Yeah.
consultation report on that one then? If there was a
I
consultation.
mean, we're going back to literally that was COVID year, wasn't it? So I actually
Yeah.
genuinely
Yeah.
can't remember when it came to
Well,
council or
it-
not. I
it-
genuinely can't.
It says they were introduced in 2017.
Yeah,
and
they
therefore
renewed.
the review took place in 2020,
Yeah.
and it's now 23, so it's time
3
for the
years, isn't it?
next review.
Yeah.
But that seems to be the review of these 3 items, according to this website.
Yeah.
So they're already in place, so that shouldn't be too
And the
onerous.
renewal of the marina area includes the extension to Lockside Square.
Yeah, so the bigger issue is the 2 new ones, to my mind, that they want to put in.
That doesn't
But
how
that's
it
not-
comes across.
Yeah.
That's not how it
If they're
comes
in
across at all.
there, if they're they shouldn't even put those in. If they're just looking to renew the existing policy, regulations that are going in place, that should be standalone. And
Which
then
is
these
why-
two new ones should be separate.
Yeah.
Because by the sound of it, if you accept on the, if you go on the consultation and you go agree, you're almost agreeing to the two new ones at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
That's how I've seen it.
They're not
Yeah.
mentioned anywhere in the
No, they're not.
consultation.
That's
They're not in
right,
the
that's right,
consultation.
yeah.
Yeah, it's only the three, you've only got the three options to be able to actually be between strongly agreeing or strongly supporting, right the way to not strongly opposing
Let's have a look at
on the three.
let's
That's
look
it.
at the wording of some of these and see if it makes any more
So
sense.
can we not find out when the 2020 consultation was put in and what the results of that consultation was?
Yeah.
Not now.
Why not?
Not when we sit here.
So we can ask for it then, because that's honestly,
I think we have
it's
to
just not done
defer, don't we,
properly
ask
at
for
all.
it to be paused and defer it because we need further information because there's too many, we're asking too many questions here.
Yeah.
That we can't answer tonight, and obviously one of them I've asked is the fact that we need to dig out what was agreed back in 2020.
Yeah.
Because none of us can within the right mind can genuinely remember what we're not going to.
And on the basis
Crazy
that
year.
PHD 006 is referencing land that's actually
Belongs to us
leased by
anyway.
Yeah.
the town council.
So how did you say this came to us?
It
It
didn't.
Yeah.
I just logged on to consultations before I did the agenda.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you'd have had it before. I logged on to consultations to see what there was. And I said, oh my God, there's a consultation. And I realised what it was, and it involved football club as well. And then which I had a discussion with certain people in the office that said, oh yeah, we knew about that. I said, how did you know about it? Well, they logged on as people in the town and signed up, although I signed up as a deputy to be able to receive consultations.
Yeah.
I hadn't received it.
No.
So, yeah,
So,
so it's clearly not working.
I mean, clearly we need to put some form of objection in then that we weren't
Yeah.
notified
I
of
think
this.
so.
Yeah.
I think that would, rather than trying to talk to each one now and
We can't.
resolve all that,
We can't.
get straight back to North Somerset and say why are consultations taking place without town council's involvement?
Or proper information to the public.
Yeah, and they have to discuss with us, and it
Yeah,
has been
yeah,
extension of the date. It has
Well, it's
been
all well and
extended.
good having people who've signed up, like as a board, to
It's not a massive
to
amount,
look
is
at
it?
consultations, but surely there needs to be some more publicity so that
Of
people
course
who
so.
haven't signed up.
Yeah.
We've been saying, Rog, we've been saying this since day one. We've been saying this since day one about consultations from North Somerset.
Mm.
And if you think it's a game, isn't it? I mean, if North Somerset gets just 10 people saying, oh, I object, or oh, I quite agree, they base the whole 30,000 residents of the town on that. How can you do that? How can you do that? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, so what are we actually proposing
Not
for
only
this then?
10 residents,
Well, I've
but
got
10
here that you're
residents that are
objecting.
interested
Yeah.
in that
You're
particular-
objecting on the ground and that you weren't invited
Yeah.
to consult on the alters, particularly that PHD 06 relates to the said town council private land, irrespective to when it was
Yeah.
done. It's,
Yeah, we should have been consulted on it again. I mean, I don't think many of us have a problem with it for obvious
No,
reasons.
yeah.
But I think it's the fact that, my point is the fact that we haven't been consulted, we haven't been,
Yeah.
there is no dialogue.
Well,
They just slap something on there which ends, okay, whether it be 4 days or
Days.
however many hours.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the information? The information isn't clear,
No.
we haven't been consulted, and it ends in, let's call it 4 days.
Can we just ask the members of the public, how do you find the point of consultation being brought to the public for them to understand what a consultation is? And
We basically never know when there's a consultation. We only know about the new one because we had the neighbourhood plan, because we had the voting thing
Yeah.
through the post, and then it didn't even have a link on there so that you could then go and find it and search for itself. So it's not, there's nothing very informative there, is there? No?
so,
Just the all dogs on leads one, on
Yeah.
the promenade. To be honest, I thought you already had to have your dog on the lead in all the roads around the lake grounds, and people in the past, so there have been fines, so.
It's a bit inconsistent is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, some signs appear to have been removed.
um,
So that's the problem we're having. I mean, I'm a dog walker down there, and mine is on the front there. But then you get to the field, and if it's clear, then no. But
yeah,
I think
the
there
beach
needs to be
now.
clarity. Is the problem, isn't there? There is no clarity,
Yeah.
and it goes back to the point: is who's going to enforce it? There is an issue at the moment with the discussion of a PSPO for this end of the marina, and the argument comes back to, well, who's going to enforce it then? Because at the moment, as it stands, we haven't got the police,
But,
even though headquarters in Portishead. And what was actually said by Mark Shelford in the meeting about the numbers of police, etc., that we've got was actually factually incorrect by several thousand. So,
but can I just thank the 2 residents here of the town that's given that information. Thank you very much for that.
So who was proposing that we object?
So
that we were not invited?
Rose seconded.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
We're going to vote on that. We're going to pass that one. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, well, while we're talking on
Certainly don't want anybody
enforcement, as it's
raising
nearly
their
on the
hand
same
this
subject,
Yeah.
down in Weston-super-Mare, there's been in recent weeks 2 incursions onto beach lawns by groups of travellers, both of which have caused criminal damage to get onto there, both of which were recorded doing it, both of which there was police in attendance, and on both occasions the police chose to do nothing.
Is this the £150,000 worth of wood posts that they put round there?
Yeah.
Yes,
some of them
because
are taken down.
because the police said, well, unless you put something there to stop them getting in, we won't be able to
Maybe they should
enforce
have thought
it.
a bit better than some
And now
posts.
it feels like they're not enforcing it anyway.
Mm.
On both occasions, there was a police officer in attendance who didn't attempt to stop them going on.
Well,
And on the first occasion, he said, well, they said they're only going to be here overnight, so we just thought we'd let it go. And okay, the first one
do
they
you want to
did
pick a
actually,
fight with the
they did
travellers?
they did actually fine the person £300 for doing it, so they later did them. But on the other one, I don't know what's happening at the moment, but the police said that they didn't have the manpower to deal with it.
Wasn't the first one removed within a day because of the technicality of the criminal damage?
No, they
And that's where it helped them
they
to
were
get removed quicker.
they were only staying overnight. They said, oh, we'll be gone tomorrow, and they were gone the next day. God knows where they went, but you know, they were gone the next day. But no one removed the first lot. The second lot, there's now enforcement action against them, I think. And
No, but there's a lot more that have turned up since.
I know, it's a nightmare. But it's this like, you know, the police are there to enforce, but do they? And
Seem to want to.
even with a cut and dried case, there they seem to be reluctant to do anything, or we just don't have enough police on the ground to be able to deal with. I mean, you think in the centre of Weston-super-Mare, they'd be able to call up a fair few police in cars on the radio in a very short space of time, wouldn't you?
Well, they've got 4 times the amount of community officers than we have.
Just pull a car across where they're getting in and stop anyone else from going there, but they just didn't. And we're still waiting for an explanation as to why not.
Seem reluctant to deal with travellers altogether. Is there something in
I think there is.
We need to ask Ellen what it's
We don't
about.
have any
There are good reasons
registered
for that.
counts for them,
No.
so to a certain
Yeah.
extent, some of it's our own fault.
I think.
Because legally, you're supposed to have a registered camp, and if you don't, then it's very difficult sometimes to remove them. Yeah, or insufficient. If we do have one, it's insufficient.
Yeah, once they're actually on the land, if it's not privately owned, we didn't have a problem on Bristol Road because it was privately owned. But when it's owned by the council itself, like a unitary council, they have tick lists to make sure of their welfare.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of.
I know I've attended many over the last 5 years.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's just an example that enforcement is a real issue.
Yeah.
I don't know why the police precept went up so much, and yet the policing seems to have gone down so much, but that's a whole different issue.
Yeah, that's, no.
Yeah.
That's
That's the way
government, I
to
guess.
bless him.
Right, can we move on then, guys? 9.3, advisory disabled parking bay application. It's got a reference number 10516-736 in Severn Road. Has nobody seen?
When it came about,
Yeah,
back in last week.
I've got a hard copy here if you haven't.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I didn't have much notice with this one.
Do you want me to do a visit?
I've done it, even the other report.
That's the thingy. There's a photograph of it. You want to have butchers?
So here we go. We'll all have a look.
You had it, Martin, didn't you? You had it, didn't
I
you?
got it, yeah. There's,
There's a report, I think Emma might have the report that
Yeah,
I filled in actually, yeah.
but it's a wide road, it's not, there's lots of disabled places in there. Short of parking bays, is that? Not many people have driveways and parking?
No, not there, they didn't have, no.
No, okay.
The applicant does say in their details that they have to be on a flat, a level surface with their mobility to be able to get out of the car, and if it's further down the road, it will cause them a problem.
Oh,
They got stranded in their car, I think, one day.
it's not too close to the corner. There's a junction further up, isn't there, Phil?
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Just to let you know, I have one outside my front of my house for the lady next door. Another thing to remember is ambulance attendants. You'll find that people with mobility issues may require ambulance attendants quite on a regular basis. The one next door, she has probably one every other week. And obviously the space that has to be available for that as well as the parking space.
Good point. Yeah.
So I was fairly critical earlier about us accepting applications from just one person, but I think this is probably the exception.
It's exception, isn't it?
So I don't see any reason to object to it. It all seems perfectly normal.
Just two questions on it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I've answered it with just checking here again.
I'm
If you look at where it actually
not-
is, it's not a million miles away from a junction, obviously, and this is a busy road anyway. Completely accept they need it near the house for obvious reasons, that's fine. But there should be consideration here for ensuring that double yellow lines are put either side of it to ensure that there is no double parking in the area, i.e. if they're there, nobody else double parks opposite or whatever on junctions, then causes a problem for motor services vehicles.
Back to the North Sunset.
But back to the
Line,
North
they should
Sunset,
get that way.
Because it says it here. Are there existing yellow lines? No. Is it on a bend or place where visibility is otherwise limited? Well, it says no. The plan is kind of a bit harder to see because it's close, but
It's just this junction, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's the thing.
so you kind of argue it's within a. But I just asked that I got no problem with it in principle, but I'd want double yellow lines around it to make sure that actually it doesn't then compromise anything
That's what I
else.
said, with
Yeah.
the ambulance attendants, so it isn't.
Otherwise, you're going to solve one problem for the resident, which is important,
Yeah,
then you're going to potentially cause another problem, which we don't want to cause anybody.
no, I quite agree. I agree with
There's
that.
no off-street
Parking,
parking
no.
there.
No,
It's all on street.
it's all on the street, isn't it? Yeah.
So it's part of that here, isn't
So
it?
there seems to be cars parked either side of where it is
Yeah.
anyway, doesn't there?
Yeah. Then often you've got car right opposite to those, which is your problem, isn't it?
It
I
is
was
a
gonna say,
white line.
you may find that if you say, yeah, we'll put in a disabled bay and double yellow lines either side, and therefore you knock out 3 parking spaces in one road, that you may have a problem with people having a go at the disabled person for doing that, who will then say, I didn't ask for that.
And it's not, the link,
It's
the
a
link
bit-
road by the park is not, it's not a massively busy road because you.
Quite a wide road, actually.
Yeah, that one is,
Quite a wide road,
yeah. It's
Seven Road.
Seven Road,
Seven
yeah.
Road,
Yeah.
It's not, and Seven Road is not that busy. Link Road is, there's, like Emma just said, there's no traffic on it.
Yeah, and there's off-road parking on Link Road, everybody did, so I don't think,
As time goes by, we're bound to see more and more of these.
yeah.
As people get older and
Aging
older,
population.
and of course, we
Okay.
keep them all in their homes for as long as possible.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot
More
more
of
of
those,
this.
yeah.
I think we just sort of need to get used to it, don't we?
Yes, yeah, thank you very much.
Does anyone
So-
know, sorry, does anyone know how long it takes to get one of these things painted? Does it sort of, do they just come out and go,
It was between 1 and 30 years.
is it in line with how long it takes to get a dummy line?
That's an issue, is it?
It's not done as a priority.
I don't know. The general answer is I don't know. I don't know.
No.
I would have thought it goes up the rungs. There's a priority list that they have to have, surely.
I would have
Some
thought,
things are
yeah.
more important than others, aren't they?
Yeah.
And admittedly, this is probably one of the more important ones.
But I guess we'll be informed when it gets done?
They'll consult with us.
No? No?
We'll just either go back with an objection or no objection, and we won't hear any more about it.
Ever again?
No.
No, nothing.
Okay, so that's another one for my list for highways, yeah?
Yeah, it sounds like
Feedback.
it.
Yeah, I'll just stick it on the list, don't worry.
I can go and check the one that's around the back of my house that was approved in the last PAG.
Oh, right, I see what it's been done.
I can see if it's been done.
That'll be good, yeah, that'll be good.
Just give us
Give us
kind
some
of
idea,
of
won't
We'll
it?
do it
Yeah.
very long,
timing.
I'd say. So,
Yeah.
yeah, well done, Em. So we.
Check it every week, yeah?
Give me an excuse to get off my backside during a lunch hour, isn't it?
So once an hour.
So we got no objections to this at all, or do we want to?
I don't think so.
I don't think we can.
So we've got a proposal.
Sorry, yeah, proposal,
Roger?
yeah.
Second.
And we vote on it all then, please. Right, all in
Bob's
favour?
seconding it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So we're on to 10.1. Planning applications not requiring consultation. Just need to record the fact the meeting has noted that this application doesn't require a consultation. And that's 1026 Woodside Gardens. This is the cypress trees again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're replacing like for like, aren't they, with them, and then just do
Yeah.
some other tree work to beech and oak trees.
Yeah.
So then 8 holly trees to be removed. The holly trees aren't that big anyway. So ultimately they're replacing
What they're
the
taking.
big bunch with a new match. So actually I don't see the problem. So yeah, it's just a note anyway. But, yeah.
So we've got 10.2 North Somerset Council decisions. This is for information only. Just need to record that the meeting has noted the following decisions are actually being made by North Somerset.
But sorry, I had a question to ask on this one.
Yeah,
I know
sorry.
we're only noting it, but it's really annoying that all we get is approved or refused, etc., with no reason. And most of the time it doesn't
Good
give any
point.
reason, but no reason as to why it is that maybe they've gone against our recommendations on it. However, when I was in a meeting down at North Somerset with the head of planning, we went through some documents, which one of them was a decision notice, and on there was a thing entitled reason for going against town or parish council's decision. And I wanted to ask whether or not that ever gets shared with us, because clearly it's on the list to be recorded, but I've never seen it here.
No. I can answer that one. Generally, we don't get notified. The only notifications we get generally are for TPOs, to which we never ever make a comment.
Yeah.
The reason you have them here is because I look every week for you, and I put that information on the committee for at the time. Actually, that was quite a bit of a job for somebody to be doing, and so that was all the information.
So
Example.
if North Somerset are going against our recommendation and recording why they're going against our recommendation,
Well, we also know.
then they should also, they've done the work. They should also be sending it back to us, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Well, in theory, you'd like to think that once a case officer has done the report, we would get a copy, but we never do.
No.
The only time we get one is actually regarding TPOs.
Yeah, because the case officer's report does go online, doesn't it? But it's
Are
the.
they added to the applications then?
I wanted to take this up with North Somerset at some point, but they don't ever feed the information back to us. And then I found that they actually record the information. So that sort of got rid of the, why don't you ever give a reason for it? They do give a reason. So the only question now is why they don't feed it back to us. So that's one for planning, Tim. That we need to bring up in the planning committee. I'm sub for Tim, if he's not there, so one or the other of us should bring that in planning at some point as to how, I mean, not just to Fully Said, but to all the parish and town councils that give their opinion. Only at the point where they disagree with our opinion and go against it, I think we should have a reason for that. And if they're recording it anyway, then there should be a route for them to send that back to us. So I will me and Tim will take that up down at North Somerset. But I wanted to check that it wasn't coming through and just not being shown
No.
or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
just
the only one we
hiding
get
it,
on.
yeah.
Just ruffle a few more feathers then.
I find it bizarre that you just get them for TPOs.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Especially on some of the issues that we've had over the years.
And number 11 then,
Okay.
Martin.
Any more of that? Miscellaneous for members' information. Just need to record the meeting notes and updated list circulated to members under a separate cover. An updated list and progress report for enforcement cases and previously been circulated to PAG members on the 23rd of the 6th for this information. Just to remind you that this information is not to be shared outside the town council.
Can I just check then that you actually all got that?
Yeah.
Weird, isn't it?
Okay, matters for next meeting then. The court, is there any other items we need to discuss now? The ones for next meeting, we need to look at 1244 and 1245, which is, we've already discussed, which is 29 High Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
We should probably note that there's an amended plan in for 33 Beach Road West,
Is there?
which is
Okay, that's interesting.
the one that's been rumbling on for
For a bit.
absolutely ages. And I assume that's as a response to mine and Tim's visit down to North Somerset to
Okay.
get that one reviewed, and they've come back with a new plan on it. It's only come out recently. I've only had a look at it briefly. They seem to. I mean, the building's exactly the same size. Right, to start with, the building is exactly the same size, but they've dropped it further into the ground, so it's no longer bigger than all the surrounding buildings. But I mean, that's probably. I guess we should be looking at that on the next agenda anyway. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Haven't seen anything come in yet, have you?
So that's it.
No,
then.
but
No, I've not seen anything come in yet.
Today, didn't it? I think I saw it today. It came to it on email.
Did it?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
it did.
I mean, I got an email from one of the residents down there to say that it was on the portal, and then of course the portal wasn't there.
Well, I got an email from another resident about it
Yes.
today. So yeah, so just be aware it's back on. Yeah, it definitely came through. I think this morning or this afternoon. I
Yeah,
got it.
so anyone who has an interest in that application, in seeing the outcome of it,
Bit understatement,
it's
aren't they?
time to get on the portal and start looking at those plans. The problem is that the plans are really complex. So I think
Well, that's what they
maybe
are now, yeah.
maybe we should consider another site meeting with the residents, because they seem to be on top of the plans as they affect them. And they seem to think that there's still a breach on the 45-degree rule, which is to do with the angle from the windows and loss of light or something. But that's still misrepresented. But we give them chapter and verse on the 45
Yeah,
degrees.
It's a
anyway.
really hard one.
Yeah.
Because you like actually enforce it. And no one's got the right to light, which is ridiculous.
There is a right to
Well-
light.
Yeah, not you.
Yeah, but there is a right to light. But it's a very complex subject that
Very,
we probably
yeah.
won't get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other bizarre thing was that windows in neighbours' houses were missing on the plan for the houses in the surrounding area.
Yeah, they actually off the Joyce's house, which is the one to the left, Mr. and Mrs. Joyce, one to the left when you're looking at it.
Yeah.
There's a missing window,
Is there?
which would be in breach of the 45
Ah,
degree
right,
rule
okay.
if you had to measure from
That's
that
handy,
window,
then,
which
wasn't
wasn't on the plan.
Handy.
Yes. Was I okay to mention their names as soon as they came along to the meeting?
Don't know.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, don't tell them, Mike.
I did see your eyes roll.
Okay, well, we need to add that, and any other late planning applications and
Yeah.
consultations, some of which we've already discussed. Well, that's cool. Date for your diaries then, because date of the next meeting will be Wednesday, the 2nd of August, 23 at 7:30.
I'll send me apologies in now, because I'm on my way.
Would you? Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me
Okay.
too, sorry, Sharon.
These people having holidays, I couldn't
Well,
find it myself.
Fine, 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 fine.
So,
Around here.
No beaches allowed.
do you say you were going to be away as well?
Away as well, yeah.
I'm in Cardiff that day, but I've already been.
Okay, what time have we got now?
9:25.
9 it is. We'll close the meeting at this case then.
That's great. And then we can talk about
2029.
where everyone's going on holiday.
Yeah.
I'll hold it.